So, good afternoon, all. I would like to welcome all the attendees of this session. And it's now time to introduce the speaker of the day, Dr. Monica Gulati, Registrar, Lovely Professional University, and Senior Dean, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Lovely Professional University. She is having 20 plus years of teaching experience, research, and administrative experience as well. Her research forte is enhancing bioperformance of drug molecules using conventional and novel dosage forms. She has more than 80 high-impact publications and 10 book chapters to her credit, with an H-index of 19 and RG score of 34. She has been granted one Indian patent, while 8 have been filed and published. She is on the editorial and review board of more than 20 journals. She is on the advisory board of 4 pharma organizations as an honorary member. I welcome you, madam. We also have with us the most appropriate person to take up the queries regarding admissions, Mr. Pankaj Vij, Head Department of Tie-ups, Division of Admissions, Lovely Professional University. He holds master's degree in management with keen area of interest being training and development. He's having over 19 years of experience in multiple domains, including teaching, training, and operations. He has occupied strategic positions in multiple organizations of repute. We have with us our alumni, Neha Sharma, co-director, MS Diagnostics Laboratory and Generation Classes. We have with us Amit Chaturvedi, Regional Sales Manager, North India, Fisher and Paykel Healthcare. So I welcome all of you, and it's now over to Dr. Monica Gulati for the content of the day. Over to you, madam.
Good afternoon. So I hope I'm audible to all. So today we are going to talk about the scope and the opportunities that are available in the medical lab technology and medical laboratory sciences. You see,
sorry, madam.
Yeah.
Can you put on your camera? You are not visible.
Sure. Give me a minute. I hope I'm visible now. Am I visible now?
Not yet, madam.
It's I think now it's on, right?
Yeah, visible.
So if you talk to anybody regarding the latest buzzword, the word would be vaccine. We all agree to that.
Excuse me, madam. Can you share your screen also? So now your screen is not visible. Yeah, now it's perfect. You can continue with this.
All right. So to all the attendees, I was saying that the buzzword for the day for last almost 2.5 months, and today also is the vaccination. So everybody is talking about vaccination. Now you wonder from where do these vaccines come, right? So, the vaccines, the basic science behind the vaccines is learned and taught by the medical laboratory scientists who, handle with every phenomena that is going inside the body of a human being. So, why should we, the question which was asked to me was that why should we go for medical laboratory science courses, in these days? So, it is the sorry, there seems to be some So, this is it. Sorry for the goof. So, the medical laboratory science people, they play the most important role in collection of the samples, in testing of the samples, in analysis of the samples, and then reporting of the samples. Whenever you go to a doctor, these days, since we people are very, very health conscious, the doctors will not, make a diagnosis without looking at the biochemistry, and if there is any infection, the microbiological report of the patient. So they are completely dependent upon the medical laboratory scientist for any kind of diagnosis. And then who does the support in this diagnosis are the scientists who've done their degrees or diplomas or post graduation in MLS. So the sample is taken by a medical lab scientist. It is tested, all the kits which are available, they are qualified to carry out the tests and then analyze them. The analysis is made by them, and then reporting is also done by them, so that the doctor is able to make the proper diagnosis. I'm sorry, there seems to be some issue. So I'll share a few interesting stats with you. So, the WHO, everybody knows what WHO is. It is the World Health Organization. Now, it recommends that for every single doctor, there should be at least 8 skilled paramedical professionals. Now, in India, the current scenario is, and in fact, in the world also, the current scenario is that, the number of paramedics is much less as compared to that of the doctors. In fact, the doctors are also in shortage, and then what to talk of paramedics when the ratio should be something around, the ideal ratio is supposed to be something around 1:8, while it is 1:1 currently. So a large number of paramedics will be required in the coming years, especially, with this kind of pandemic coming up. And in this pandemic, the role of the medical laboratory scientist starts from, before the disease occurs. Because, all of us, we are going through RT-PCR, whether it is positive or negative. But we are supposed to go through it. And, before you report to your working place, or if you travel by air or other modes, you are supposed to give your RT-PCR negative report. So suddenly, the demand for the medical laboratory scientists has increased hugely. Second thing is, this is apart from pandemic. One thing is the unfortunate situation of pandemic, which has suddenly increased the demand. Otherwise, also in the normal time, say 1.5 years back, when there was no sign of COVID, that time also, since, we have become a generation of more health conscious people. And since our lifestyles are not very good, so we try to keep a check. Many of you will be going for gyms, and you will see many of the elderly people walking in the evening and in the morning, and therefore they are going for their checkups also. Routine checkups are also, they've become very common. When I was your age or in the age of my parents or my grandparents, rarely would we see anyone going for a medical checkup without any ailment. But now it has become, they call it a routine checkup, in which the patient is, the person is not a patient, the person is not suffering from any ailment, just to ensure that the person is healthy, and if there is any kind of ailment, it is diagnosed at the right time. Therefore, the health diagnostics have become very important, and suddenly the demand had increased for the fact that, as a generation, we have become more health conscious now. Now, what are the programs which are available in the medical laboratory science? It is the program which is meant for the youngest people would be DMLT, which is Diploma in Medical Lab Technology. Then we have graduation, which is BSc MLT, and then, there are certain people who have done DMLT, but they want to become a graduate. So they can take a direct entry into the second year of BSc MLT, which is generally 3 years. So in 2 years, they can complete their graduation. Then we have the post graduations also. The conventional post graduations used to be the MSc in clinical microbiology and MSc in clinical biochemistry. But recently we've introduced a new program, which is MSc in clinical embryology. You might have heard of IVF centers, wherein the in vitro fertilization is done for the couples who are not able to bear the children. They are not able to, conception is not there. So in those cases, we go, the people, the hospitals, the gynecologists, they employ the professionals who are MSc in clinical embryology, and then the ultimate degree, that is the PhD in clinical microbiology or PhD in clinical biochemistry. So doctorate degrees also we are having two, clinical microbiology and clinical biochemistry. Then since this is a new program, not a very conventional one, and it is a program which is from a very niche area, and I think it is offered all over India in 5 or 6 institutes only, and the seats are also, number of seats is very, very limited. So in case of clinical embryology, as I shared with you, the requirement of trained people, the requirement of trained embryologists is increasing in IVF centers. And as you can see, you might have noticed that in every small city also there are 1 or 2 IVF centers which help the couples to go for an artificial kind of phenomena to have a baby if there are any kind of issues in having a normal kind of conception. So in such cases, there is a huge demand for the trained people. There are not many trained people around, and currently what is going on is there is one single person in a city who is an expert in it, and he or she is going to multiple centers as a freelancer. So there is a huge demand for these kind of courses. So let us now talk of the various fields which are related to the medical laboratory sciences. We have, a very important is clinical biochemistry, in which, you are giving the picture of the biochemistry parameters, biochemical parameters, like you might have heard that, the sugar levels are high, or the person is suffering from gout when there is uric acid level is high, or thyroid hormone level is high. So that comes under the clinical biochemistry. Then hematology is basically the science of blood. Then immunology is there, where you talk of the immune system, and then this is where you learn about the vaccines also. Then blood banking is a science in itself, in the sense that how you are to preserve the blood, how is it to be taken, what is to be mixed, how it is to be given, what are the legal implications of blood donation and giving the blood also. Then histology is basically when you study the tissues. When you go to the tissue level studies, it is basically histology. Then molecular biology, when you go to still minuter levels, you go to the level of a molecule, the molecular interplay between the various kinds of things for the expression of a disease or the treatment thereof, right? And then we have serology, wherein you basically learn about the the parameters which are to be studied in the uh, blood products and sera and other fluids, body fluids. And then we have clinical microbiology, in which you study about the infections and infectious agents, and of course how to take care that infections don't progress and they don't especially in the hospitals, they don't spread. Then we come to the various scopes and opportunities which are available in the hospitals and in the other sectors for medical laboratory scientists. So once you are graduate or postgraduate, you can have a job in diagnostic labs and hospitals. So we see so many people, working in the labs, wherein when you go to give your blood samples or go to take the test reports. So all these people are basically experts, or they are trained for diagnostics. Then this is something very interesting. The second part, that is the development of diagnostic kits. You might have heard of the thyroid kit, the pregnancy kit, and recently, what is the latest development? The kits that have been developed for the for the diagnosis of COVID. So that is the most in kind of thing, because initially, we imported, if you remember, we imported kits from China and that flopped. And now the entire world is saying that the kits which were obtained from, procured from China, they were faulty. So the diagnostic kits are also developed by the medical laboratory scientists. Then in the hospitals and in the industries, wherein uh, human touch is there, infection control, especially in the hospitals and in pharma industries, infection control, even in food industry, it is a very, very important parameter. So infection control has to be taken care by the medical laboratory scientists only, because they are well aware of the issues that can occur and the factors that can lead to infections and how to control them. So infection control is another very, very important area where you can find very good jobs. Then process and product development, as I told you that, the kits are to be developed by the medical laboratory scientists. Then quality control and quality assurance, and then compliance control. These three things, they sound very similar, but their profiles are completely different. Quality control is, when we say that the quality of the tests that have been done is appropriate. So what is done generally is, if it is matched with the test result which comes is matched with either a replicate test, or it is matched with the clinical symptoms. So that gives you whether the quality control is maintained or not. That is one part. Quality assurance is much different from this. No, quality control is the end result. The result has been given and we find out whether the result is accurate or not. But in quality assurance, we check the parameters, we check all the processes which ultimately lead to the result. So is the, when you are using the equipment, is the equipment sterilized properly? Is the autoclave working properly in which the sterilization is being done? So all these parameters which will ultimately lead to the quality control, these come under the quality assurance. So this is another sector in which the medical laboratory scientists can contribute. Then comes the compliance control. Now compliance control is different from quality assurance in the sense that here we will talk about the compliance to the procedures which are given by the regulatory authorities or regulatory processes. Say for example, we have bio-waste management. So is the regulation which is dictated by the bio-waste management, is it being followed? That is it being complied to? Like we have, prenatal detection test, is that being complied to? So all these things will come under the compliance control. I hope the difference is clear to everyone. Then of course R&D, R&D is research and development, and you might be knowing that 4 or 5 teams which led to the development of vaccines in a record time of 1 year only. They all belong to the research and development team of different industries, and they are being hailed for rolling out a vaccine which generally takes 1 decade in just 1 year, one and a half year. So R&D is basically that kind of thing where you get all the acclaim if you are doing well. So the kits are developed, the vaccines are developed, the diagnostic methods are developed in R&D. Right? Then we have medical affairs. Medical affairs is basically, you see, that area which answers the queries of doctors who are going to send you the business. So medical affairs is going to provide the literature related to a product. It is going to assure the doctors that whatever they are diagnosing is correct, whatever they are using as in terms of vaccine, in terms of test kits, is authentic and it is basically useful to them. Then of course sales and marketing, everybody knows about it. You are you are going to pitch your company or your product to the doctors and to the patients. So how you are going to do that, that is being managed by the sales and marketing people. Here also, there is a difference between the sales and marketing. Sales is the the end procedure, when actually the professional goes to the either to the patient or to the doctor, that means the end user, while marketing is where it is strategized. What is to be told, how you are going to launch a product, when you are going to launch a product. So these kind of strategic decisions are taken by the marketing team, while the sales team are the uh, they are the end sales is the end procedure. So they will be finally the face of the company, the salespeople. They will be approaching the end user, the stakeholders. And then we come to product management. Product management team is the one which basically, teaches, which trains the salespeople. So the efficiency of sales, of course, depends upon the sales personnel, but it also depends directly or indirectly on the product management team. Then when we talk of entrepreneurship, if you are going to open your own organization, your own lab, you can go to diagnostic, you can open a diagnostic lab. You might have seen, apart from these 2-3 MNCs which are there, like Lal Path Lab and so on, there are many small kind of diagnostic labs, many of which are right there inside the hospital. So these can be, and these are being run by the medical laboratory scientists. Then clinical data management is another thing which is upcoming very strongly. Herein, the clinical data is outsourced by the companies, by the pharma companies, as well as by the bio product companies, wherein they will give the data of clinical trials or smaller clinical studies to a particular organization, and they will manage the entire data. They will put the statistical treatments to it, and then finally they will find out the result. And the statistics, they can do magic. The statistical treatments are those which are going to tell you how to present the data to the customer. The customer could be a pharma company here, the customer could be doctors, the customers could be patients here. So clinical data management is also very important, and all you need to know is a little of mathematics, a little of statistics, and then a lot of focus and a lot of concentration. Then clinical writing is another opportunity. The whenever there is a new diagnostic kit, or you are going to go to the doctors or the patients, what you are doing is you are preparing those small and large brochures. So that is basically clinical writing. Another thing which is being done these days is, the companies which are outsourcing the clinical data management, they need their data to be put into words also. So who will put it into the words? Somebody who is very well aware of the medical terms, and who knows a lot about, or at least a little about, the human physiology, human anatomy, biochemistry, microbiology, and so on. So clinical writing is another very attractive area, and it is a desk job. You don't have to move from one place to another. You can do it, sitting at home also, through the remote working. And then another thing is preclinical lab. This is again a very attractive proposal, in the sense that you can have lots of money. Only thing is, you have to have very tight controls. Quality controls need to be very tight. All the vaccines that have come into the market were initially, before they were tested on us, before they were tested on small population of human beings, initially they are tested on experimental animals. So preclinical lab is that which carries out the studies on the experimental animals or in the microorganisms. So in the preclinical lab, once you are able to give the results which are good, only then it will be taken up for the clinical trials. So preclinical lab, since the data is very sensitive, and it can make or mar a product, therefore the amounts which are shelled out to the preclinical labs are huge. So this is another very attractive opportunity. Other sectors where the medical laboratory scientists can find good jobs is the insurance sector. when we go for term insurance, you go for life insurance, you go for health insurance. So there are a large number of medical terms which a person who is not well versed with the human physiology or pathology particularly will not be able to understand much. So they look for people who are well versed with all these terms, and medical laboratory scientist is one of the top choices, wherein the insurance people would like to invest in terms of jobs. Second thing is medical coding. This you might have already heard about. Medical coding is, for each disease, for each treatment, a code is given. And many of the European countries and Western world countries are outsourcing their work to us, to Asia. And since, we are the largest English speaking country in Asia, Chinese they take a backstage here. Therefore, we are the preferred destination for medical coding. Then food control, you will get government jobs as well as private jobs in food control. You can join as food inspectors also, or the big hotel chains, they also employ people for food control, so that the food which is being served or the food which is being sold is of good quality. There is no chance of any kind of infection or any kind of deleterious material being there. Academics, you can become a teacher like me. And then research, as I shared with you, one is you see research and development, which is there in case of companies, in case of pharma companies. Research is something where you are not working in a private company. What there are certain research organizations throughout India which are focused only on research. There is no pressure that you are going to develop a product which is going to be ultimately useful for the company. There could be basic research, there could be pure research also. So there you might have heard of certain institutes like CSIR or IMTech or NIIs, wherein pure research goes. So research is another very attractive kind of destination for medical laboratory scientists. Then we talk of nutraceuticals, which are basically nothing but functional foods. Probiotics is the hype these days. There are fortified kind of foods. You will see that this particular product, this bread contains iron, this bread contains calcium. This is the cake. I saw some vada paos which are fortified with calcium. So all these things will come under nutraceuticals. The energy drinks and the energy bars and the protein bars and so on, so they all come under nutraceuticals. Then we also talk of cosmeceuticals. Cosmeceuticals is a little different from cosmetics. Cosmetics are only for the increasing the attractiveness. Now cosmeceuticals are those which will uh, help or which will support the skin or the hair or wherever they are applied. So it is not purely for the looks purpose, it is also for the treatment purpose. Say for example, if the person is having a lot of dandruff, or if there is a hair fall or that kind of thing, so cosmeceuticals are going to rectify the condition also. So they are more than cosmetics. Here also, the medical laboratory scientists are very much in demand, because they learn all the pathology and they learn all the pathophysiology also. Then IPR is a sector, intellectual property rights, which is again very much in demand these days, because all the treatments and prevention strategies for COVID these days, and all the vaccines which are being developed, every company is trying to protect its rights. Preparing one is, which gives you a lot of exhilaration. I have done it. But what about the finances after that? So if you publish it and it goes, it is of no use. So patent is something which is becoming very important these days to protect the financial rights also. And then hospital quality control is another area wherein you can enter. The medical laboratory scientists can enter. So these are the few companies which are, where the medical laboratory scientists are always in huge demand. Every year they come and they take a large number of medical laboratory scientists who are graduates or postgraduates or diplomas in MLS. And then we talk, since it is a new course, I have dedicated a slide to it. What are the scope and opportunities in clinical embryologist, in clinical embryology? So in this, we have, as I shared with you, uh, generally what is going on is, since the number of the experts is so limited, there is one person and he or she is doing the freelancing kind of thing. So in-house embryologist is in great demand, so that for a particular hospital or for a particular IVF center, that person is dedicated completely. Then of course freelancing is opportunity is also available. Then senior embryologists are required to look after all the procedures which are going on by the junior people or by the younger people. Then a step ahead of this, uh, then the senior embryologist, once you are able to handle the things very properly, you have to train the younger generation. So uh, trainer at the ART centers, wherein the artificial procedures are done. And then consultant embryologist is another step ahead, who is basically consulted in case of difficult cases, wherein we are the normal, the what do I say, the regular kind of embryologists are not able to perform it. Then there are a few institutes, as I shared with you, which are running certain courses in clinical embryology. So there can be teaching scope there. And sales and marketing again comes, because the couples have to be convinced that if they go for this particular hospital or this particular IVF center, the chances are good. And then of course, R&D is everywhere. Here also we need more kits, we need more research to simplify the process. The process is not very simple as yet. And these are a few you know uh, institutes or a few organizations which are involved in IVF. So you can see there is Select IVF, there is Cooper Surgical, and IVF Store is there. Birla is also into it, and so on. So regarding the opportunities, this is what I wanted to show. You see, during the COVID-19, most of the industries have suffered very, very badly. So health sector or the pharma sector, as you can see, health sector is one which is flourishing still. The rates of their shares have gone up. A remarkable increase has been there, while the market share for the rest of the companies have dipped very badly. Now, as I was sharing with you, the role of the medical laboratory scientist in corona war, it starts before the disease occurs. It is very strange, otherwise it is always we say that disease occurs and the role of a medical laboratory scientist comes. But in this case, this is one time when it comes before the infection also. So you are supposed to get the tests conducted, and then during the infection, what happens, you have to confirm whether it is COVID-19 or not. If it becomes negative but the symptoms still persist, then it has to be repeated again and again. If the disease symptoms they increase, then we have to again go for tests indicating whether it is a life threatening condition or not. So tests are to be done all the time, right? Even when the patient starts to recover, we go for the test again, how quick the patient is going to recover. And post infection also, the patients are supposed to undergo the tests. One thing is, there have been a lot of comorbidities, so it is not only COVID which needs to be tested, there are many other diagnostic tests. It has been seen that many patients who have had corona and have recovered, they have developed diabetes, they have developed some very severe nephro symptoms, kidney symptoms, and they have developed some very severe cardiovascular symptoms. So there have been many cases where the patients have been again hospitalized because of the comorbidities of COVID. So you see, the circle goes on. I would not say it is a circle, it becomes a spiral kind of thing. once you enter into it, the demand for the medical laboratory test, it goes on for a considerable period of time. So specimen collection is being done by a medical laboratory scientist, then detection is done by real-time PCR, again to be done, right, by a medical laboratory scientist. Even if we go for the rapid test, it has to be done by a medical lab scientist. In fact, the kits for the rapid test and PCR, RT-PCR, that they were also developed by the laboratory scientists. Then for further investigation, where we need to actually see whether the COVID, which kind, you must have heard that there has been a Delta strain now. So finding out which strain it is when you go for electron microscopy and so on. So that also requires the intervention of a medical laboratory scientist. So as you can see, the demand and the market is increasing hugely for the clinical laboratory services. Reasons, as I shared with you earlier also, emergence of new diseases, of course, COVID was one, and then we heard about, black fungus, which was again a comorbidity of COVID. And recently, 2-3 days back, we heard of the, monkeypox. We had heard about smallpox and chickenpox, so there was emergence of monkeypox again. And then it is a necessity of life. People like to get themselves diagnosed frequently. And molecular diagnosis is becoming very important for final confirmation. Data management is becoming very important. Bioinformatics, all the clinical trials which are being run, they need the intervention of a medical laboratory scientist. Good hospitals are there. They also need the professionals. And of course, you need to be very good in language. So as you can see, why now is that suddenly, the demand has increased. You can see at the bottom left that, all these medical laboratory scientists and doctors were asked to come outside their hospital. And there were a few helicopters which were, showering the rose petals on them just to honor their contribution in saving the population from COVID. So these are all some very emotional kind of things which happened to salute the medical laboratory scientists and doctors who had contributed a lot during the pandemic. So this is again, they say that if you want to be a hero, become a paramedical professional. I heard there have been many songs also dedicated to doctors and paramedics. So these, I'm very proud to share, these are some of our alumni and some of our students who have been the heroes of the corona pandemic. They have been honored by their respective institutes, by the government also, for their, very, very meaningful contribution towards the fight against pandemic. So since the demand is increasing, we should go for this particular profession now. As you can say, this I've already covered most of them. So we should work hands in hand with the top companies. There should be, a push for the innovative solution. So this is the time when you should join this career. And I am very happy to share that, very proud to share that two of our alumni are there with us. Neha is there and Amit is there. Two of our wonderful children who have graduated from our department. They are doing very well in their respective careers. So I'll be happy to take any kind of queries. So the session is open to any queries.
So thank you so much, madam, for presenting why medical laboratory science, why clinical embryology, scope and opportunities, and you have talked about the things much in depth, and I hope it would be very beneficial to each and every attendee of this session. So we are having two of our alumni, Amit is there and Neha is there. So we would like to know what they are doing in their life right now. Over to Amit.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your great presentation. I have seen that you have shared and gathered information about all the industries. So about me, I graduated from LPU. I joined LPU in 2006, and I graduated from LPU, and then I worked in Dr. Lalpath Labs. I've also worked in Metropolis, and right now I'm working as a regional sales manager for North India in Fisher and Paykel Healthcare India Private Limited. So I look after the sales and sales part of the northern region of the company. And this company deals with the medical equipments which are used in critical care ICUs of hospitals.
I would like to
Wonderful.
ask you one question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you, what do you suggest to the people who are aspiring for, entering into their professional careers now? Whenever they are going to enter into any profession, and for that, they are going to join an institute. What are the factors which they should look for in a particular institute which they are going to join? I hope
Sure,
my
ma'am.
question
Sure.
is clear.
Uh, yes, ma'am. It is clear that uh, indirectly, if I answer this question practically on my side, that what are the things I looked when I was searching for a university or a course. So definitely, when someone is going, or when I went for a course, I was searching for a course in medical laboratory sciences. I was aware that this is something which is a professional course. So definitely, I was not looking for an institute who only focus on clinicals only, but I was looking for an institute who can groom me overall for a professional life, for the industry, actual industry. So yes, definitely, this was something which attracted me towards LPU, because uh, if you must be remembering that I was someone who was involved in all the cultural activities also in the college, and those were the things which it's very rarely found in the universities or colleges. So it is not about the clinical thing. I would say one should always see that how the university or institute is developing the person or the candidate on the interpersonal skills, the opportunities on practicals, and the other extracurricular activities where the person can groom himself. And the sessions like this, like people or students nowadays in the university can have the opportunity to talk to the alumni, and it is becoming very easy, and the efforts you guys are doing in this pandemic situation also to keep the students updated about the industry, what is going in the industry, what are the experts thinking, and what are the things which are important for the candidate to groom themselves. So these kind of things definitely one should look after whenever they are choosing for an institute.
One more question. Since you are right there in the market now, uh, what do you feel is
Correct,
the,
ma'am.
in this post-pandemic situation? What do you feel about the opportunity for medical laboratory scientists? Is it going to increase or decrease or remain the same?
No, ma'am, definitely after this, right now also, and definitely after this pandemic, the opportunity for medical laboratory sciences is going to be huge, because people have become more health conscious, and before it is good for people to go and diagnose the problem right at the beginning. So diagnosis was something I would say, when I was working in laboratories, I have seen people getting upset when the test is negative, because they used to say that the money got, nothing came out. So but now the time has come when people are happy, and people know that if I want to be healthy, I need to know that what is going inside my body. So this is something like pre-health checkups, the health parameters. These are a lot of profiles which are coming in the market right now, and definitely there is a huge growth in private medical laboratory sciences and laboratories. So the opportunities in all sectors, whatever you mentioned in the presentation, are going to be huge.
Dr. Chopra, any questions from your side?
I'll definitely come back with the questions from the attendees. So we can move on to Neha, what she's doing in her life, how the things are going on at her end.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, ma'am. It was a great presentation. I'm currently working as a co-director at MS Diagnostic, and e-generation classes. The classes are, they are about coaching classes, and we are planning to have medical courses in these classes also. And we are trying to collaborate with different labs and have training sessions also. And that's all about my introduction. Any questions?
You are a academician and diagnostic scientist, both rolled into one.
Yes,
Two
ma'am.
things you are doing together.
Actually, we are two handling these two institutes. Me and my husband. He handled that education sector, and
How
I
does it
handle
feel
it.
to be an entrepreneur in this area?
Uh, yes, ma'am.
How does it feel to have your own, lab and your
Really?
own institute in this area?
Yes, it really feels great, ma'am. You are doing your own thing. Like no one is there to control you. You can apply your own rules. And because I was so hardworking and I'm so comfortable in doing all these work myself.
Yeah, I would like to ask you one thing. When you open your own lab, how easy or how difficult it is to start, with your, because many times I've seen the children, they are very skeptical about it, कि कैसे खोलेंगे, बहुत सारे legal issues होंगे, how will we handle the things? So how difficult it is, the procedure of opening?
It was very difficult for us because the time we have thought of opening a lab, that time was Corona time, and moreover due to the change in 360 Act in our state, because our state was converted into UT, so there were many problems faced by us in recognition of our lab because all the rules were changed. Okay, so we need to have complete knowledge about the new rules, and we have already registered it, but we have to register it again. Moreover, the second challenge which I faced is being a woman. It was a very big challenge for me because everyone was like, why did you have studied so much if you are not going to do government job? So means why do you study? One day you have to have children and have to marry. So why to open your own business? But I have to like talk to each one of them, deal to each one of the people who were questioning, and then yes, it was very difficult for me to leave my 9 to 5 job and have my own business. That was the most challenging part
And
of
now,
building a business.
how does it feel now?
It feels very great and satisfied.
I think Dr. Chopra, you can take the queries.
Yeah, definitely. A quick question to Amit and Neha, both of you. What made you choose LPU for your studies? Amit.
Yes, sir. So as I mentioned in my few minutes back, that yes, I was definitely looking for an institute where I can groom where I can groom myself overall with overall personality. And I would not miss to say this, that LPU have all the facilities and is definitely giving the opportunities to students where they can not only learn about the subject, but they can parallelly learn about how to be a professional and how to be updated for the industry which is outside the organization. So for overall grooming and for the extracurricular activities also is something which actually attracted me to
Wonderful.
LPU in 2006 when I joined.
Neha, your views on this?
So the scholarship system of LPU, it has attracted me a lot. When I saw a course that cost only rupees 4,500 for one semester with percentage above 90, so that was the thing which has attracted me the most. Without wasting a second, I decided, I was very determined that I'm going to join LPU only. I was not unaware of the LPU system or LPU facilities, but when I joined LPU, I was like fully satisfied that I have chosen the right university because it is providing you a world-class facilities at very low cost, I'll say. For me, it was very low. 4,500 was much lower than the government institute that costs here because I was determined to do MBBS, but I could not make a free seat. I have to pay a lot. But then when I look after the courses that LP offers, it was offering MLT at rupees 4,500 only. So scholarship has attracted me the most.
Wonderful. Nice to know your views about LPU. We'll come back to you, Amit, Neha, and we have few questions coming up from the attendees. So attendees, I would request you to gear up for the questions as the experts are with us. I would like you to put up your hand, raise your hand through the interface so that I can connect you directly to the experts. So first, Kasak Chaudhary, I see a question coming up from her. Kasak, I have given you the rights to speak. Please unmute yourself and put up the question to the experts. Kasak, can you hear me? Kasak Chaudhary. Are you there, Kasak? You are self-muted. Please unmute yourself and put up the question. Yeah. Yeah, Kasak, speak up, please. She's not getting, we are not getting any input from her, but yes, I have a textual question from her. So she says, MSc medical is good or MSc clinical is good? If I do PhD or job in hospital, or if I open my own laboratory, please answer, please suggest what should I do. She's totally mingled into MSc medical or MSc clinical. I would start with Dr. Monica. Please clear the confusion what she's having in her mind. Dr. Monica, I can't hear you for the time being. Yeah.
I think, Kasak, the only difference is in the when you talk of medical sciences or you talk of clinical sciences, the difference is only in the nomenclature. Only the names are different. The course curricula are the same. You are taught the same techniques. You are taught the same theory part. So there is not much difference between the two except for the names. And you know the job opportunities, they remain the same. I think I have answered your question.
Wonderful. I take up a question coming from Navjot. Navjot, I have given you the rights. Navjot Kaur, you have raised your hand. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a query related to that in medical BSc. Recently, I took admission in medical BSc MLT.
Yeah. So what's your
Sir,
query?
I want to know that in this degree there is a bright future or not.
I think Amit can answer this question better than I can.
Oh yes, Navjot.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Navjot.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Navjot. I got your question, and I'm sure you have gone through the presentation which Monica ma'am have presented, and you have seen the list of opportunities out there when you are graduated from medical laboratory sciences. One thing not to miss out that when you have enrolled for BSc MLT, it is not something which is limiting you. It is a graduation which have a value addition to medical laboratory sciences. So there are huge opportunities out there in the market when you are graduated, and you must feel proud that you are having a value addition on your graduation with medical laboratory sciences. And it all depends upon your area of interest. That what is your area of interest? So if you have area of interest, and based on that, you have to strategize your next move. Like if your area of interest is in suppose in clinicals, you will have to go for further studies of medical like masters or maybe postdoctorate degrees.
Yes,
And if you are
sir.
definitely higher studies will be important. But like me, when I was in medical laboratory science graduate, so I when I was into my final years and I was into trainings, so I was interacting with lots of people coming to the laboratories. And then I realized that I'm good in communication and interacting with people, and this is something which is giving kick to me. So I decided that I'll move out from the clinical thing and I'll go to the marketing and sales and marketing part. So that was the time when I decided, and I went to Dr. Lalpath lab, as I was specialized in medical laboratory sciences, and I joined sales and marketing there. And parallelly, I did my master's in business administration. So to answer your question, the opportunities are huge. You need to be, a little persistent and meticulous on that. And once you have decided, you need to be focused on your goal. Yes, the approach might, you can be little flexible on your approach. Like I was flexible in my approach when I completed my graduation and went to sales and marketing. So likewise, if you be flexible in your approach, but yes, be confident and do whatever you are doing consistently, and make sure that you are meticulous enough to focus on your goal. The opportunities are huge in different sectors.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Navjot.
Thank you, Amit, for the answer. And now I move on to the next query that is coming from Ariba Ahmed. Ariba, can you hear me? Ariba, I have given you the rights. Please unmute yourself and put up the question. Ariba Ahmed. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is, like, do LPU provide any student exchange program or anything so that to like find opportunities out of country or anything like that, or any combined courses like in MBA to get into MBA through this?
Yeah.
Should I answer the question? Or
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
since she is talking about MBA and all, I think Mr. Pankaj could be a better person to answer this question.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. That's why I put on my camera. And thanks
Thank you.
for looping me in, ma'am. That's a very good question. Actually, we at LPU are very particular about the internationalization and the international aspect of education. Now, we have got various modules within the various courses that we are offering, that we offer programs in which a student can complete a part of the program over here at LPU and the other part of the program at a foreign university with which we have got a tie-up. As of now, with medical lab technology, this thing is not available that you complete half of the program over here and half of the program over there, or maybe a part of the program at LP and the other part at a foreign university. But yes, we are offering a few things in which a student can maybe go for a student exchange program for a single semester. A student can go abroad and study over there for a semester, or can go for, say, about a few weeks time at a foreign university and do a small module over there of a few subjects. So that would be a mix and match kind of a thing. So we provide some internationalization of in various courses, and MLT is no exception. Well, we have just started with this particular thing when it comes to medical lab technology, but the future is vast, and we'd be tying up with a lot of universities when it comes to the medical lab technology as well. Moving on, you said that in management, if you like, Amit also said that he's a management postgraduate as well. Now, there's a very lethal combination when I talk about medical and management. Anybody who does a medical lab technology, say a 3-year degree program in medical lab technology, can obviously go towards management, and there's a lethal program called the hospital and the healthcare management system. That's a very good program, and MBA in hospital and healthcare management. Anybody who's a medical graduate or allied medical graduate can go for a MBA in hospital or healthcare management. But if you want to make a transfer, just like Amit, you want to go for sales, marketing, and things like that, obviously finance, marketing, HR, these are also open for you. But yes, moving from management, medical lab technology or medical sciences to management is a good idea. You can make a transfer, and if you move to management over there, we provide you that particular program in which 1 year you can spend at LPU and the other year you can spend abroad in a foreign university, and you get a degree of the foreign land, the foreign university.
I hope you are well answered, dear.
Sir, one more follow-up question. Is like medical, like hospital management, is that beneficial more, or we should like keep proceeding like on financial one, like the sir did sales and all that?
Well, it depends on your interest. There are two things. May I answer that particular thing? Okay,
Please,
great. So, yeah, great. There are two particular things in this question. If your interest or the zest or your enthusiasm is towards your own field, which is medical lab technology or the medical sciences, please go ahead with that particular thing. But if you want to make a combination of being a technocrat and also being a management expert, in that particular case, I will suggest you to make a good combination of medical lab technology plus management. Just like people do BTech and thereafter they do the MBA program, so that makes them a technocrat as well as maybe a management expert. So similarly, you can be a medical expert, and also along with that, you can be a management expert. Monica ma'am, I guess you will agree with me.
Yeah, surely. I mean, we have two people here. One is a typical example of a combination of degrees, and another is a typical example of pursuing our own technical field only. So both are quite successful. Both are happily pursuing their post education careers very successfully. So as long as you are happy with the technical part, you can pursue your MSc. If you are more inclined towards the management part, you can enter into MBA. Perfect.
that was wonderful. And now I request Ms. Pankaj Vij to just have a quick view of the infrastructure and the scholarship part. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about the scholarship which Neha was talking about. LPU has still a lot to offer to you. That this little presentation from Mr. Pankaj would definitely help you in taking decisions better. Okay, over to Mr. Pankaj. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Rishi. I hope my screen is visible. Professor Rishi, oh, great, yeah, great. So, well, I would just commence by saying one small line, that what we do at LPU with our students, or how we train them, we need not say anything. Our two alumni, Amit and Neha, themselves have told. They just spoke like professionals, and we are very proud that this is the end product that we are creating at LPU. So I'm not going to mince my words. They themselves are living examples of this is what we make out of our students. They come to us just like a raw student, and they are converted into professionals the way you're seeing the end products, which are Amit and Neha. So I guess this is what we believe in to making out of our students. When you come to the university, what do you expect? Pandemic will not be there forever, but what do you expect when you come to LPU? Well, this is what you can expect when you come to LPU. Campus life and exposure. What kind of a campus life do we offer to our students? The year was 2019, and the 106th edition of the Indian Science Congress was celebrated at LPU, and it was inaugurated by none other than the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. We have had the likes of His Holiness the Dalai Lama coming to the university, giving away degrees and the live sermons to the students. We had two former presidents of India and Afghanistan sharing the same dais, same stage, once again awarding degrees to the students, a cherished moment for the students. We had the former Union Minister of India, the Finance Minister of India, Shri Arun Jaitley ji, who was here to start up a startup school at LPU. In 2018, Venkaiah Naidu ji, the Vice President of India, came to LPU, giving away once again degrees at the convocation ceremony that particular year. We had Gauhar Gopal Das. It's not only about the politicians, but there are intellectuals just like Gauhar Gopal Das came to the university, giving away live sermons to the students and to the parents and to the teachers. Not only these kind of people, but the real heroes, they also throng the campus, not to just sing and dance, that's probably a part of it, but also to share their experiences with the young generation, because the young generation listens to them. Talking about the infrastructure, well, that's a marvel of a building. It's 14 blocks joined together, housing the the central library of LPU. So that's a classical building that you're seeing in your screen over here. This is the auditorium that you're seeing over here, 3,000 seater capacity auditorium. All the cultural functions and things like that are taking place over here in this vicinity. That's a lab that you're seeing. That's a lab that you're seeing. That's a computer lab that you're seeing over here, high-tech lab. Libraries, RF generated libraries, all automated libraries, which is the need of the hour, and we have it at LPU. That's a marvel of a building that you're seeing within the campus. It's a mall at the heart of the campus, and this is the interior of this mall, all the Providence stores and everything. Students buy their stuff from this place. It also houses a gymnasium for health freaks, which the young generation is these days, with trainers internationally trained. We have got bowling alleys and other recreational facilities within the same vicinity. God forbid you feel somebody falls ill, but somebody falls ill. We have got an equipped hospital, 25-bedder hospital with resident medical doctor staff, even a dental chair. We generate a part of our electricity on our own, and this also happens to what you're seeing over here in the screen. It also happens to be an outdoor theater that we have got. That's a panoramic view of LPU, and well, it is said that a large part of Jalandhar's greenery lies at LPU, owing to which we were awarded as one of the cleanest campuses in India. We are amongst the top 10 cleanest campuses of India. If somebody is a sporting freak, well, LPU is the right place to be. We have got Olympic-sized swimming pools. We've got all sorts of courts, shooting ranges, basketball court, badminton court, volleyball courts, and so on and so forth. Even a squash court. That's an aerial view of our infrastructure when it comes to the sporting complex. Residential facility, you'll be astonished to know, all the attendees over here would be astonished to know that 20,000 plus students and faculty members stay within the campus. We've got 6 girls hostels, 8 boys hostels within the same 600 acres worth of campus. These are some of the amenities that we are offering to our students: banks, ATMs, even a post office within the campus. Talking about the programs offered, Dr. Monica Gulati had very beautifully explained the programs that we are offering, but just to give you a gist of it, the basic program is DMLT, that's Diploma in Medical Lab Technology, a 3-year program, 6 semesters. The eligibility is passed with 50% marks aggregate in the 10th standard. English is a compulsory subject that the student should have studied. We have got a BSc in Medical Lab Technology, 3 years, 6 semesters. The eligibility is 60% marks in 12th, with English, chemistry, maths, or biotechnology, any one of them. And even a student who's done an MLT diploma after 10th is also eligible for the Bachelor's Medical Lab Technology program, lateral entry. Talking about the fee and scholarship, well, Neha was very impressed with our fee. Same goes over here right now till date. We happen to be the university which has offered the largest scholarship scheme in India. Over 500 crores worth of scholarship has been given to the students. 60,000 of our students in the last 7 years have availed these scholarships. 61% of our students are studying on scholarships. Talking about the fee structure, the basic fee structure of the MLT, BSc MLT program, just to take an example, BSc MLT, the basic fee structure is 80,000 per semester, but there are a whole lot of scholarships that we are offering. Any student having 80 to 89.99% of marks in 10th or 12th, or he's amongst the LPU Nest cutoff. LPU Nest is an exam that we have got called the Lovely Professional University National Entrance and Scholarship Test. So either you have 80 to 89.99% of marks in your 10th or 12th, or you are amongst the 3rd cutoff of our LPU Nest exam. You are in for a scholarship of 30%, and your fee goes down to 56,000 per semester rather than 80,000. Similarly, anybody has got 90 to 94.99% of marks in 10th or 12th, or is amongst the LPU Nest cutoff 2, 40% scholarship, fee goes down to 48,000. Similarly, anybody has got greater than equal to 90%, 95% marks in 10th or 12th, or is amongst the cutoff 1 of LPU Nest, 50% scholarship, the fee goes down to just 40,000. And I just want to mention over here that the scholarship, once granted to the student, is never vindicated. It will go for the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever is the duration of the program. So that's the takeaway from this slide. We also offer some other scholarships, like scholarships on the basis of national level tests, sports and cultures, event scholarships, extracurricular based scholarships, something like NSS, NCC, and so on and so forth. We also have scholarship for the wards of defense personnel, differently abled or orphan students. God forbid somebody is differently abled or orphan. Such students are also awarded grants from LPU. And we are also offering need-based scholarships. Need-based scholarships means we have a single mother child, we have got a single girl child in a family, or somebody is economically weak. Such students are also granted scholarships. The application process is pretty simple. We know it's pandemic time, you cannot venture outside. So we at LPU are quite tech savvy in our approach. Everything can be done within the vicinity of your home. Just 4 simple steps. You just need to log on to our web, log on to admissions.lpu.in. You need to sign up. Thereafter, there's an application form for admissions. Just fill up that form, apply for the LPNS test, which will give you scholarships, and you can book the slot of that exam within the vicinity of your home, sitting in the quarters of your home. You can appear for this exam, and you can fetch scholarship. And these 4 simple steps, and your admission is done. You can visit us at www.lpu.in. You can write to us at admissions@lpu.co.in, or you can call us at 1-800-102-4407. So that's all from my side. I sign off. Back to you, Professor Vishen.
So it was wonderful and quick presentation by Mr. Pankaj, and I hope you will pick up 1 or 2 things nicely from this presentation. And before we sign off formally, I would assure all the attendees that whatever queries we were not able to answer in this webinar, we'll definitely give you the answer through the email in next few hours. And now I would like to sign off by saying, experts, your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such an interesting way produced one of the most wonderful afternoons for all the attendees. On behalf of all the attendees of this session, I would like to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided in this webinar for your academics and, of course, for your better decision regarding your admissions. I'm obliged and once again thankful to all the experts for strengthening this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.